G'day Jeff, we're here today to just talk a little bit about the Best Practice Ants course that we had created back in, say, 2014. We're doing some updates to it. There are some products that we've removed from our portfolio and some that we've added, so we'd really like to just give an overview of that. And I must say that the Best Practice Ant course for us has been a really big hit, and a lot of people have carried out that course, and I'd strongly recommend, if you haven't, go and carry out the course, because it does contain quite a lot of really good information in regards to treating and carrying out ant treatments.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, we considered reshooting it, didn't we? And we decided that the material that we've got in that course is just so comprehensive that it'd be pointless to try and replicate it again, and it's still very relevant. There's very few parts of it that we wouldn't recommend today. So rather than doing that, we thought we'd do this as a bit of an update. And talk about maybe the changes that have occurred since we did that video back in 13, 14, as you say.
Absolutely. I think, important to note that we have had some changes in our portfolio as things progress and new technology becomes available. We're excited to really announce that there are a few changes, and we'd just like to walk you through them now.
Okay, so we've got all the products laid out for best practice ant control, and the first one of those that you're closest to there, Daryl, it's COOPEX Dust.
Yep.
From memory, that was in the original course.
It was.
Still is.
Yep, still is, and it's a very important product within our portfolio, Dust. It still is, just for general pest control, and particularly with ants as well. So you want to be using it in certain areas, so roof voids and cavities, and particularly with ants. They like to infest through weep holes in houses and so on, so it's a really good place to use the Dust.
And then 75, TEMPRID 75, we had that also in the last course, still do.
Absolutely.
It's going well.
TEMPRID's a staple for us. It's if you haven't used TEMPRID, I don't think you must be doing pest control. If you haven't heard of it, at least.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it is such a fantastic product.
Incredibly good value for what it is. Dual active, broad spectrum label. It's indoors, outdoors. It just does everything, and it just does it at such a good price point, and hence why it's just so damn popular.
So there's something missing, isn't there?
There's something missing.
Yes.
What's missing?
So MaxForce Complete, our granular product. MaxForce Complete, we removed from the portfolio a couple of years ago now, for various reasons, and one was that the volumes that we would like to see out of a product, we just weren't achieving with MaxForce Complete. It was a fantastic product for what it was designed for. We're not saying that we're going to remove granular baiting from the Best Practice Ant course. It's still an important part of that.
Absolutely, it's still incredibly effective, and there's plenty of good granular products that are out there.
Absolutely.
That people have choice to use. But
one thing I think that people are sort of gravitating towards now is potentially the use of fipronil outside. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Well, I think the industry sort of took the view that it was probably easier in those broad areas to go out and use fipronil in those spaces, and then concentrate baiting close to structures and buildings, and so with that change, there's been obviously a reduction in the amount of granules being used across the board. Whether it's our product or anyone else's, and we acknowledge that, and I think that's brought about most of the decision to change and remove it from the market, at least from our portfolio. But I definitely advise people who want to use granules or considering using granules outdoors to go back and do the training, have a look at it. There's some really good material in there, and to be honest, I think they're still incredibly effective products to use. And
agree.
In some cases, they're a better option than say a liquid spray or liquid non-repellent in those conditions. Particularly, say in think of an example off the top of my head in bark gardens. It's very difficult to get product down through bark. And mulch and get to things like coastal brown ants are very difficult to control when they're down at the soil layer, and sometimes it's better to go with a granule product to do that.
Agree. Yeah. So they still do have their fit, of course.
Yeah, but I think one thing that's helped us along is that the Quantum has been shown to be a very broad spectrum product in its ability to attract ant species, not just sugar feeding species, which it obviously excels in. But it does attract other feeders as well that are looking for either sugar because it's an ingredient they require for the colony at that point in time, or they're even just looking for moisture. We've got plenty of good feedback from users out there saying that they're surprised at how many different species feed on Quantum, even though they thought it was a sugar feeding product, and hence why for some time we've been saying that it has this this multi species capability.
And it really comes back to formulation again, technology within Suspend Flex. The formulation technology behind MaxSource Quantum as well is something that is you can't find in any other products because of that fact.
Yeah.
Multi-feeding species, and it's not just sugar feeding. We can get some protein feeding, ant colony, under control as well with it.
That's right. So whilst you could argue that our portfolio has somewhat shrunk, or it's we've lost a product, I think we're probably doing just as good a job as we were before.
Absolutely.
We've got just as much ability to do what we need to do, and if we do need to go outside, we might consider a granule, or we might use a fipronil product in certain areas. But the base of a really good ant control program is here on this table, and as I said, the real comprehensive training that we provide in that first course is a good basis for how to incorporate these types of products.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so thanks, Jeff. It was a really good overview, and if you haven't already, as I mentioned before, carried out the Best Practice Ant course, I really strongly recommend that you go and do it. There's some really good information in there that is very relevant to ant control. It has been one of our most popular courses for 5 or 6 years in a row.
Yeah, forever. Yeah.
So please go and have a look. Again, this is the update to it. We're not changing a lot because we do feel that what we provided, information we provided previously, was very comprehensive. So we just want to give it an update for 2021 and a refresh.